Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am delighted that you are here. I am so glad to see all of you. I will start by saying welcome. Welcome is an old Latin word. It means to greet someone warmly, someone, not just anyone, but someone that you've been expecting. And so little do you know that we have been preparing for your arrival in this room for about a year. The TAs that you're going to have as part of your experience through this class were sitting in your seats last year at this time as they were going through their adventure of learning about themselves, learning about each other, and learning about the environment. So as they took their adventure and then slowly decided to become TAs for the class, then they proceeded to do a class through last semester, and then now they're here with you in this room. And so the anticipation of your arrival has been pretty great. It's been pretty exciting. It comes from the word willa, Old Latin, which means pleasure or desire or choice. The idea that we're choosing to be in this room right now. So when I say welcome, it means all of that. It's with full enthusiasm, with my heart wide open to each of you, that I am so glad that you're here. So thank you. So each of you has also been preparing for this moment. You have had whatever the adventure of your life has been to this moment that arrives with you in this room. So there are about 320 of us in the room right now. And the idea that means that there are 320 life adventures. So even though I get to be the person that stands up here and talks into the microphone a lot, it's the idea that all of us bring a collective shared experience, all of your individual experiences, life adventure, to this space. And so I might be the one that does a lot of talking right now, except that you are the expert on you. There is nobody else who knows you as well as you do. And so the idea that we can bring all of that sweet energy to this space right now is pretty darn exciting. So this is BiSci 3, environmental science course, right? So when you signed up for environmental science, it might mean that you were excited about environmental science because you took it in high school. Or because maybe you've heard about the class, or maybe you took it because you're not really sciencey and you heard that this isn't really science, except that it is. It's a different kind, it's a different view, it's a different perspective on science. So when you think about science, you might think back to this, right? The environmental science scientific method. So you will find in your journals, I'll take a moment to point this out and give you a moment. If you've gotten your journal from the bookstore, if you turn to page 10 of your journal, and if you want to go do that now, that's awesome. Your journal, the journal that is designed for this class, that should be at the bookstore for you. So if not, then I should know about that. Yes. Oh, could I hold yours for a second? May I just hold your journal up for a second? Thank you. It'll look like this. This is your journal for the class. So, yep, awesome. Okay. Thank you. And so on page 10 of your journal is the notes page for today. So the journal is all comprehensive. It has assignments in it, as well as places where you can take notes. So all of it is incorporated together. We offer this as an opportunity for you to weave your thoughts as you move through the class. So on page 10 there, if you care to write down the scientific method, today we're going over the step of observation. If you have laptops open, if you have phones out, if you have earbuds in or headphones on, you can put all that stuff away. In the process of getting your journal out, you can put all those other devices away. This is a device-free, well, mostly device-free zone. Weird. All right, so as you settle in, thinking about the scientific method, we're going to do a couple of rounds of practice of this observation. So take a moment and put both your feet on the floor. Take a good deep breath in. That means breathing into your belly, not just your shoulders, but into your belly. Take a good core breath. And then you're going to observe yourself. You can observe your feet touching the floor. What parts of your feet are actually touching inside your shoes or your flip-flops, your sandals for today? What parts of your feet are touching? Paying attention and noticing. Noticing that you're breathing, even though I told you to take one deep breath, your breath has continued. You are actually being breathed by your nervous system. The breath going in and out, you might feel that over the top, your top lip. You might feel it's chilly in here, the cool air going up my nostrils. Observing. So when we take moments like this to observe ourselves, we have an opportunity. So what's going on for you when you take that deep breath, when you take a moment to notice yourself, how it feels sitting in your chair in this moment? How does that feel for you? As we dwell in the present moment, we know that this is really the only moment that we have right now. So I'm curious. I am curious. You'll hear me say this a lot. I'm curious about what you're observing. So when I ask a question like that, we have the opportunity for getting the microphones out because your experience is really valuable. So we have the microphones that we pass around during class, and I'm excited to have you all contribute thoughts. Obviously, not all 320 of you, but a number of you. What are you observing as you slow down, feet on the floor, taking a breath? What did you notice? Right up here, Logan.
I feel my heart beating inside my chest and my toes touching the ground.
Yeah, heart beating inside my chest. How often do we take a moment to notice that? So when we hear, if you also noticed your heart beating in your chest, you can snap. I noticed my heart beating. It's a way of supporting each other's answers, right? So we can be supportive of people who spoke, and also extra snaps for being the first to speak. Awesome. What else did you observe in that moment of taking a breath? Who else would like to offer?
Okay. I felt relaxation.
Relaxation. Isn't that beautiful? Can you, like, where did you feel it?
In my head and in my breathing, it felt very calming after the stress of this week.
Yeah, it's just a busy week, right? So taking a moment to ground into our breath, isn't it a beautiful opportunity? So that's connecting, and we're going to talk more about those connections, but all of this is based on science, the idea of how our bodies work. So slowing down, taking an opportunity to, to really feel what we're feeling and honor those sorts of feelings. So we're in this moment where we're starting all kinds of new things. This might be your second day at Penn State. It might be that you were here for the summer, but now suddenly there are 40,000 other people here, and that even feels different. It might be that this is your first time living away from home, and that could be different. It could be that you're on, the first day, second day of your senior year, and that feels different. So there's all these different things that we're experiencing in these days. New semester, new classes, new possibilities, new responsibilities, some excitement and some anxiety. So those feelings are all coming up because of chemical reactions that are happening in our bodies. So taking a moment to breathe shifts that energy that's happening. So some of the chemical reactions that are happening in our bodies right now are because of this. We have these neurotransmitters in our bodies that bring up a lot of different reactions that we get to choose how they show up. So for instance, standing up here in front of you, I feel the adrenaline. The adrenaline's coursing right now. Makes me feel pretty excited, makes me feel a little bit anxious inside. It's a good anxiety, right? It gives me this sort of physical boost, this mental boost. And that's what is happening for me, this adrenaline, right? Not that I'm ready to fight or fly, but that it gives me this energy to be able to do this. As a typical introvert, this is not inside my usual wheelhouse, but I get pretty excited when I get to be here with all of you. So the adrenaline is here, the noradrenaline is here for me. Also some dopamine. This is exciting. So who out there can speak to what might be happening for you? What neurotransmitter do you think is working in your body? There isn't a wrong answer. So it could cause some anxiety when you feel this pressure to answer questions, and yet there's no wrong answer, and we're all just people. So it's pretty darn cool to have the opportunity. What's that?
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So consider your neurotransmitters. All right. I think that a lot of you are feeling something related to this. Um,
Test. I'm feeling endorphins because I worked out shortly before this.
Score. Awesome. Thank you. Yep. It's been that kind of finding those new routines, and that is such a good like rush, right? It feels so good to have that energy output in that way. Doing something good for yourself is pretty exciting. So we also have in our bodies, oh yeah, go ahead.
Uh, I I feel like I am experiencing a as acetyl
Uh-huh.
acetylcholine.
Choline. Yeah.
acetylcholine because I am learning new things about words that I kind of took for granted for a while, and because while I am listening to this, I am drawing something that I have not drawn very often in the background, which is a Pokemon Bayonet. I
Uh-huh.
think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. So some of you might process, thank you for sharing that. So some of you might process in your bodies, like as I'm talking, a lot of BioSci 3 students do sketch or journal whatever's going on that helps that processing, that acetylcholine working in our bodies and our minds. So we have neurotransmitters, we also have hormones, all of these different hormones that are coursing through our body, all of these natural connections. And so this is a way for us to just acknowledge that our bodies are full of science, right? It might just feel like feelings, but it's actually based in all of this chemical movement that flows through us. So the hormones and neurotransmitters work as a chemical team. Neurotransmitters are fast. They're like text messages. They come at us pretty quickly. Things change and shift. Remember, or if I hope you don't remember. If you think back to being how the humans were thousands of years ago and they were running from tigers, you couldn't have a slow reaction to that. You would have to have something fast. So that's where the neurotransmitters come in. And then the hormones are slower. It's kind of like snail mail. You send somebody a letter and they get the information, and then our bodies use that over time. So we have these two chemical systems happening in our bodies. So thinking back to that we are observing ourselves, understanding the science of the self helps us to be more aware of how we're reacting, how we're showing up in certain situations. So we're going to do round 2 of our observation at this point. Ready? So observing your perception. Take yourselves back in time to the moment that you walked into this room. See how clearly you can envision that. And see if you can recall your self-talk. Or if you were walking with a friend and were actually having an outside conversation with someone. What was your perception? What did you notice when you entered the room? And then subsequently, what did you feel and think? All right, put yourself in their memory. So who would like to speak to this? What did you notice or feel when you came in this room?
I guess I just felt like overwhelmed. And
Yeah,
I came in by myself too, so like didn't know anyone and
yeah. So overwhelmed, how did that feel? Like what came up for you?
like I don't know, just like I didn't know where to sit. I didn't know who to talk to.
Like a little confusing, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly it's a big room. There's this overwhelm of, oh my gosh, all these seats, all these people, right? So thank you for sharing. Definitely. Anybody else feel overwhelmed? Yeah, yeah, sure. All right. Did you have someone else, Alexis, over on this side? Oh, great. Okay.
I noticed how many people there were in this class compared to my other classes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it was overwhelming as well.
Oh, yes. The sheer number of people in the room can be overwhelming. So that's interesting too, right? So that inner dialogue, it is a lot of people, right? I feel that in my heartbeat right now. It's a lot of you out there. So this inner dialogue gives us clues and helps. It actually tells us a lot of stories about what's happening for ourselves. So I'm going to ask you one further prompt about this because I would imagine that a number of you felt that. Like, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of seats, I'm here by myself, there's a lot of. So when you thought about the people in the room, did you think about, boy, there's a lot of them? Or did you think, gosh, there's a lot of us in this room? Did you think of it as them? Or did you think of it as us, this crowd of people? And what's the difference? Us versus them. Two tiny little words.
Well, I guess. Well, I guess the calling sorry, wrong sentence. I guess if you're referring to a group of people as wow, there's a lot of them, is an inherently like othering sentence. Like you're just describing the people here as not like you.
Yeah, right. Othering. What a beautiful word that you chose there. Othering. Thank you for saying so. So if we walk into a room like this and say, wow, all these other beautiful human beings, like, look at us. We are amazing. We have all had different days, different places, different people, and now we've all end up here. It brings this sense of community, this sense of togetherness into the room, into your mind, into your body framework. If you walk in and say, oh, look at all of them, it is an othering. It creates an immediate separation when we think about our word choices. You'll find that I like words and like the orientation and the development and the history of words. So you'll hear me do that a lot. But in this case, it tells a story. And part of BiSci 3 is about the story and the culture that leads us to where we are in this moment. On your piece of paper, the yellow one we're going to look at in a moment, we talk about its environmental havoc and crisis, this place of crisis that we're in. So we need to think about our views, our way of being together, if we're going to truly address that. So that's part of what BiSci is about. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jen Anderson. In Lakesh is what I'll say. In Lakesh is a Mayan greeting that means I am another you. I am another you. So I am the way the Mayans use this is that they greet the sun this way. They greet the land this way. They greet the trees this way. They greet their family this way. They greet people on the street this way. So the idea that celebrating I am another you doesn't put me higher or lower on some kind of chain. It just says we're in this together. We're celebrating this together. So again, just because I stand up here doesn't mean I have all the right answers or know everything about life. All of you bring so much to this space and to this room. So in Lakesh, I am another you, Jen Anderson. I work at Shavers Creek Environmental Center. I am going on 29 years at Shavers Creek, where I've gotten to teach lots of different environmental education programs and work with a lot of different beautiful people on connecting people to people and people to nature. So that's my job. I'm also a mom of 3 boys that have taught me a lot of things about life. And so you're going to get to hear stories about my boys as they relate to the class, because being a mom is the greatest joy of my life. I love to make stuff. I make a lot of things. I upcycle aluminum cans into art and jewelry, as well as lots of other crafts. I enjoy knitting and crocheting and connecting with the natural world with those natural materials. So you'll get to hear a little bit of pieces of those things. But as you noticed earlier, I'm only a small part of this system. You may have noticed I said, we are here to welcome you. I am excited, but we are also excited. So I'm going to have the TAs come up at this point. The TAs, the learning coordinators, and Autumn, our educational coordinator, and they're going to introduce themselves to you. So if you want to line up however you see fit. Do you have a microphone to start this end? Great.
Hello, everybody. My name's Autumn. Greetings and thanks for being here. I'm the educational coordinator for this class, and I've been the educational coordinator for the last 4 years because this class inspired me so much when I was in your seats. When I look out at all of you, I see a future full of promise for humanity and nature to live together in harmony.
Hi, I'm Jose. I'm a learning coordinator here at BySide 3. Can't wait to connect with you all and show you about yourselves.
Good afternoon. My name is Logan. I'm also a learning coordinator. I'm a senior. I believe in the power of knowledge, and this course has some amazing lectures, and I hope that you learn a lot, take some notes, maybe draw a little bit.
Hi, my name's Alexis. I'm a TA. This is my second time TAing, and I'm so excited to see all of your by-side journeys.
Hi, welcome to BySci. My name's Ashlyn. I'm also a TA this semester, and I'm here because I believe in the power of people learning together and growing together.
Hello, everyone. My name is Doug. I'm a TA, and I hope throughout this class, everyone learns something new about themselves.
Hi, I'm Bella, and I'm really excited to have a great semester with everyone, and I'm also a TA.
Hi, I'm Paulina. I'm also a TA, and I'm looking forward to a great semester with you guys.
Hi, everyone, and in Lakesh. I'm Michaela. I'm a TA as well, and I believe if you love BySci, it will love you back.
Hey everybody, I'm Nick. I'm a TA, and BySci had a very profound impact on my life once I decided to trust it fully.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Katie. I am a TA, and I'm really excited for you all to learn.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm a TA, and I'm so excited to watch you all grow throughout this semester.
Hi, I'm Carter. I'm really excited that you're all here, and I'm confident that you'll learn and grow from this class.
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm one of the learning coordinators, and I'm confident that you will grow into your true and authentic selves.
Hi, my name is Reagan. I'm a TA, and I'm looking forward to embarking on this journey alongside you.
Hi, I'm Elfie. I'm one of the learning coordinators, and I'm so excited to see you all grow.
Hi, I'm Daniel, and if you choose to let go, you might find the childlike version of you awaiting you at the end of this journey.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a TA, and I believe we can all make a difference in the world.
Thank you all very much. Go ahead back to your seats. So you're likely here because you need to have a Gen Ed science credit. So what is Gen Ed? I mean, why do they have this system, right? What is a Gen Ed course? John Dewey, a great educator, said, education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. So the Gen Ed courses at Penn State, the reason that they require this of you is that they want to send beings out into the world, human beings out into the world that are prepared to face a lot of different situations. So if you came here to study math and you only take math and you go out into the world knowing mostly math, then it might be challenging for you to have other interactions or be on committees or be part of your communities. And so having these Gen Eds as a requirement helps us to be more, what they say, well-rounded, of course. The word educate comes from the Latin word educere, which means to bring forth. So in BySci 3, our goal is to have you come forth, You making choices for you of engagement with life. That's what we're getting at here. A couple of weeks ago, I got an email from Maggie Slatterly. She's the director of the Office for General Education and the Assistant Dean for General Undergraduate Education here at Penn State. The email said, "Your course plays an important role in our general education program because it provides your students with essential learning in natural sciences. Your course also provides students the opportunity to meet these general education learning objectives. Creative thinking," take these in for a minute, creative thinking, so that's not typically something that we welcome in the education system right now, but you'll have the chance in here. Critical and analytical thinking, that's also intriguing. Key literacies, social responsibility, and ethical reasoning. Maggie Slatterly says, "We encourage you to keep these learning objectives in your mind and consider how each one connects to the aspects of my plan for the semester." And so that's what I'm doing, right? More than just a book education. It seems as though Penn State gets it. So my role and that of the learning coordinators and the TAs and Autumn is to offer you some new opportunities in ways of thinking, believing, feeling, communicating, and we're inviting you to be you. We're not pushing our views on you. We're opening opportunities for you to think broader, wiser, deeper. We want you to see your own power and beauty and deeper connections. This happens to be a really good time in life for you to do this. Your prefrontal cortex, that red part as imaged in this brain, the red part, your prefrontal cortex, it is useful in a variety of complex behaviors, such as focusing your attention, predicting the sequences of your actions and the consequences of your actions, anticipating events in your environment, impulse control, managing emotional reactions, planning and finding connections. So this frontal lobe helps you move through the world, making choices, seeing opportunities, doing the best thing for you. So this is a perfect time because the prefrontal cortex, this frontal lobe, is not fully developed until you're 25. So this is a really sweet opportunity. You're in this space of cool brain expansion. So this is the perfect time for you to be in BiSci 3. So you can give this part of your body, your brain, some support in considering how you are growing and learning. I find that to be pretty exciting. So what this course invites you to do is see with new eyes. It might be what you're experiencing already in the last few minutes, but it's this idea that science, the role of science, if you think about the Hubble telescope, or you think about the microscope, X-rays, right? It's a way of seeing possibilities, seeing with new eyes that is new. So if we think about ourselves as science, there is this opportunity to learn so much. So the cool thing is that this goes really well with what I believe is our human superpower of curiosity. I believe that our best human superpower is curiosity. And so how can we get curious about ourselves in new and exciting ways, right? A way of being. So we've made we've made observations about ourselves and about this collective group of people in this room. And so now, what about this? What about college? What's your story about college? Why are you here? What comes up for you when you think about why you are here? Observe your body when I give you this prompt. I'm in college because I'm taking this course because. Does your breath quicken? Do you feel nervous? Ooh, there's somebody. Thank you, Logan.
I'm in college because I want to learn new things that I didn't have the opportunity to learn in high school.
Mhm.
And I'm taking this course because I took environmental science in high school and I really liked it.
Nice. And so how does that feel for you? What kind of emotion comes up?
I'm just excited to learn about it on a deeper level
Nice.
than I could in high school.
Yeah, excitement. That's cool.
Test. I'm in college because I want to help out my future self.
Mhm.
And I'm taking this course because it's just the next step in doing that.
Beautiful. And how does that feel? Supporting you.
Not stressful.
Nice.
Almost stress relieving that I'm taking the next step.
Yeah, feels good, right? To support ourselves. That's beautiful. Yeah. Does anybody else want to answer? So, our intentions for this course, right? It's important to lay this out. This is the textbook. It was written by, the first two editions were written by the gentleman who taught this course before me. You'll read about him in the Is BiSci 3 for You article that's on Canvas for this week's reading, Chris Ewell. So he started teaching BiSci 3 in 1983, and you'll get to learn the story of how this course evolved. And when it was time to write the third edition of the book, he invited me to help, which was one of the greatest honors of my life. It was a pretty cool experience. So we use this because we haven't been able to find an environmental text that fits the way that we teach this course and feel like it's most effective. The idea that everything is environment and the way that we move through the world is science. So Becoming Fully Human, the subtitle of the book, is the theme of this course. Connections with each other, connections with ourselves, connections with the natural world. So we're not just going to document like observations of other people engaging or other people and nature, but we're going to experience it. Going to question it. Why is that happening? What is the underlying cause? What are the root causes of what's going on today? So we're bringing together this idea of environment and science because we are environment and we are science. So look now at the yellow paper that you got. And if anybody needs one, just raise your hand and Doug will bring you one. There's some folks in the back there. Actually, just spread out. Yep, great. Daniel, could you help Doug with the folks on the other side? Yeah. Thank you. Over on this, yeah, go straight across. Thank you. So this is a mini syllabus. It is just a glimpse of what you will find on Canvas. There are lots of details there. So really, this is just, as I say, just a glimpse. So there we have the theme of BiSci 3. We are part of all there is, right? We're going to explore our thoughts, our connections, the root causes of today's environmental havoc, the power of our personal responses to what is the most significant crisis in the history of humankind. So it's based on active learning. We get to meet in this classroom for 50 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You meet in your lab for 50 minutes. That's 150 minutes. But then there are things that we're going to ask you to take out and like do some experiments out in the world and observe and pay attention to what goes on. And then figure out what are you going to choose to do based on what you learn in this class and how you process it. So you're going to have the course text, you're going to get the companion journal, and then you're going to have the Canvas page. You also have resources. Me and your TA and Autumn are all here for you as you start working through this. Please reach out with any questions. Your first journal is due at your lab on Friday this week. So you'll want to move into that. Get those readings going, get that journal written. And when you go to your lab on Friday, that you'll look up on LionPath, it'll tell you where you're going. And you'll show up there, your TA will greet you, and you'll have time with them. Mark September 27th in your calendar because we're going on a field trip. We'll be headed to Shavers Creek Environmental Center that day, and your TA will soon have specifics about the timing of your group. You'll be gone from campus for about 5 hours. So that's there. My contact information is there, Autumn's contact information, my office hours are there for you, the learning coordinators' names are there. And then you flip it over, and then it gives you some things about if you commit to fully engaging with this course, you can expect to discover how your questions, can be powerful catalysts in your own learning. You can grow in your ability to see yourself, those around you, and Earth with new eyes. You can appreciate the power of journal reflections as a path to self-understanding and self-discovery. And you can discover that you can play a significant role in the creation and healing of our world. So you might have thoughts you've never had the opportunity to think before, and you might write some things you've never had the understanding to write, and you might speak or feel all of this coming to this point of finding yourself as a connected, vital part of the world. It's pretty exciting. So we expect from you the 4 pillars of our course culture is that you will be here on time and that you will be present. We have actually, I've heard that it's a very strict attendance policy. And so you will be here in this room, being on time, not leaving early. That's key. All of the policies are written up in the syllabus. So that's there for you. That you are alert during class, that you are fully present. So that's why there's no devices in the space, because even if your phone is sitting on your desk, your brain is wondering what's happening on your phone, right? If it's in your presence, then it's disturbing being fully present in class, engaging with your classmates. So we ask that you be fully present. We ask that you be open to new ideas, open to sharing when the time is right. We ask that you also truth speak. Avoid BSing in your journal. It doesn't really do anybody any good at all. So on my end, it's a contract. I will start and end class on time as much as humanly possible. I will respond to your messages. If there are things in this course culture or things that are going on that you feel uncomfortable, then I need you to let me know. If you're not getting your journals back on time, if you are experiencing some sort of discomfort for any reason, please bring it to my attention. I won't know, and I can't help to fix it if I don't know about it. If you don't think this class is for you after this class, I respectfully ask you to drop because we currently have 7 students waiting to get in. So just taking it into consideration that really BiSci 3 is for you, and this is going to be a cool opportunity if you choose for it to be. So the class has a quick start. I just said your journal is due on Friday to your TA. That's great. The expectation for the journals is true reflection. I think we still have 5 minutes, right? Yeah. And so that you truly reflect on there. You could go, I know that there are websites where you can cheat, right? I know that you could have AI do this, but what good? This is an experience, an educational experience that you're here because you want an educational experience. So we ask that you take that experience. I sense a lot of rustling. Could you just hang with me? We'll be done soon, right? I think at 4:25, I think. So So you'll be meeting with your TA and your lab mates on Friday in small groups. Again, these TAs are qualified. They're ready to lead you through this experience. Please be respectful of them. Remember that we're all here to learn and grow, that they are also undergraduate students who have a lot of other things going on in their lives, and they're committed to your group. So we honor all of everybody's differences and respect along the way. So be kind. So as our last point of observation, we are going to think about this question. How do you characterize your relationship with Earth? Here are some possibilities. Earth is mostly a background for my daily activities. Earth is primarily a supply house for all my needs. Earth is mainly a depository for my waste. Earth is all of the above, or none of the above adequately describes my connection with Earth. So take a moment and consider your answer to this. And I'd like you to talk for just a moment with your neighbor. Just turn to the person next to you and talk about how you responded to this. How many of you answered A? Okay. How many of you answered B? All right. How many of you answered C? Okay. D? All right. And E? All right. That helps me immensely. Thank you. And so one final question. Actually two final questions. How many of you love Earth? And how many of you believe Earth loves you? So there's fewer hands. So there's some level of disconnect, right? Relationship is always going two ways. So through the course of this semester, we're going to work on that, building that relationship. There are only two ways. There are only two ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle. The other is though everything is a miracle. In case you forgot, we live on a planet where lightning turns sand into glass. Dolphins give each other's names. The ocean can glow in the dark, and rain has a scent before it falls. You sit here with a beating heart, a steady sun above, and a world quietly, absurdly beautiful. Thank you very much for your presence, and we will see you on Thursday.
Lectures never get old.
I agree. Hi.
It's nice to meet you.